Over the years, lots of people have called me a bastard. And to tell you the truth, I'm proud of it. Yeah, because what is a bastard in this sense? I'm not talking about an illegitimate child, of course. I'm talking about the colloquialism of calling somebody a bastard. Sometimes he's called an asshole, sometimes he's called whatever. It's derogatory, it's trying to put the guy down, and it is usually shot through with a sense of resentment and envy. And that is pretty much key to the issue of what it is to be a bastard. Simply put, a bastard is a guy who gets what he wants and is willing to inflict hurt feelings on others in order to get what he wants. Sometimes those hurt feelings can be really, really bad hurt feelings, and sometimes a bastard is willing to inflict actual harm on others in order to get what he wants. That's certainly been the case with me. I mean, I don't have a problem inflicting real harm on others in order to get what I want. Am I proud of this? No. But the fact of the matter is, if I want something and you're in my way, I'm going to try to get you out of my way. And I don't quite see the problem. But the problem is that, see, there are a lot of other people who are unwilling to do this. There are a lot of other people who they want to be a nice guy. And I'm not willing to be the nice guy. Yeah, because that's the thing. You see, in order to get what you want, a lot of times you have to prevent others from achieving it too, or you have to simply shove somebody else out of your way, somebody else's needs and desires out of your way in order to achieve your goal, right? Well, a nice guy, a decent guy, he is willing to forego his desires in order to appease other people. Now, in my own case, I appease other people all the time, and I'll give you a specific example. You know, I've got a couple of kids, small kids, right? And I appease them all the time, okay? They want a toy, they want this, they want that, you know, and they'll start to cry if they don't get it. And so I give in, yeah, like a little marshmallow that I am insofar as my kids are concerned, right? Of course, I'm going to acquiesce. Of course, I'm going to give up. But when it comes to some stranger, to some random person, some random adult, okay? Because when I acquiesce to small children, they are not only my children, but they're 4 and 6 years old. When some grown-ass adult wants something, and that interferes with what I want, hell with him. And he has hurt feelings, and he doesn't like it, tough, you know? I'm not going to forego what I want for the sake of some other guy. You see what I'm saying? And that's the key issue of what it is to be a bastard. You see, a lot of guys, a lot of men, perhaps you, a lot of men are taught that they should forego their own desires for the sake of others. That they should be a nice guy and let others win. Let others take the prize that you want. Or perhaps it isn't that you two are competing for the exact same thing, but the fact is that in order for you to achieve what you want, somebody else is not going to achieve what they want, and so they tell you, come on, let him have what he wants. You know, by him getting what he wants, you don't get what you want, but you'd be such a nice guy. Why don't you be a nice guy, huh? Can you please be a nice guy? Fuck that noise. Fuck that noise. If you ever are in a situation where somebody says that you should do something in order to be a nice guy, you say no. And they're going to look at you nasty with daggers in their eyes and call you all kinds of names. And you're an asshole and a bastard and blah, 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 blah. Sure. But who cares about these people? These people who call you these names? Are they your friends? They're your real friends? Because your real friends want you to succeed. Your real friends want you to achieve your objective, to achieve your desires. If some random other person that you know casually wants you to forgo your desires so that they can achieve theirs, there's nothing to debate, right? But if they played that nice guy card, and you insist that you're a nice guy and you want to be a nice guy, then that's where trouble starts, right? Or rather, that's where trouble ends. That's the trouble. The trouble is that you want to be more of a nice guy than achieve your goals. And so, you got to make up your mind, because it's one or the other. You cannot be a nice guy and achieve the things that you want out of life. It's just not possible, okay? You want everybody to like you, and that's perfectly fine. There are some guys who need everybody around them to like them, so that everybody around them, no matter how random, no matter how tenuous the relationship, thinks that he's a wonderful guy. That's perfectly fine. If your ambition is to be liked by everyone, then sure, go ahead, forego your ambitions, be the nice guy. Yeah. But if you want things that are important and that are hard to get, then you're going to have to be a bastard. You're going to have to inflict hurt feelings on others. And sometimes a lot of hurt feelings. And sometimes it's not just hurt feelings, it's hurt, like real, actual damage to somebody else in order to get what you want. Because that's the way of life. Because life is a competition. Survival of the fittest. It's not complicated. Yeah? We are all struggling to survive. We are all struggling to achieve the things that we want. And they say it's a dog-eat world out there, a dog-eat-dog world out there. Fucking A, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And you have to be tough. And yes, sure, of course, when you inflict damage on somebody else, when you inflict hurt feelings or outright hurt on somebody else, yeah, of course you feel bad, but you feel so much better when you achieve what you wanted now, don't you? It's worth the hurt feelings of others, especially the hurt feelings of strangers. Who cares? Yeah, but in this contemporary culture, we're taught that, other people's feelings are so important. They are so much more important than you getting what you want. So you should not get what you want. You should just lie down like a good cuck and let others have the good feeling of getting what they want, and you just take it. Yeah, just bend over. Don't worry, they're gonna grease the strap-on. They're gonna stick into you. Don't worry. Yeah, it'll be lubed up. You'll hardly feel a thing. Yeah, fuck that noise. So fuck that noise. Fuck it. Fuck that noise. How could I put it? I remember the exact moment when I sort of consciously decided to be a bastard. Yeah, it's really weird if you think about it, because for most guys, most bastards, let me rephrase that, most bastards, they don't recall the specific instance, the specific moment, but I do, okay? It was actually quite memorable. See, what happened was that back when I was 20, I was teaching English as a foreign language, right? And one of my students was studying some tourism shit, right? And she had an assignment. She had to translate an article from the National Geographic from English into Spanish, okay? And somehow she roped me into doing it for her, right? And it wasn't long, it was maybe 4 pages, but I'm doing it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm spending all this time doing this fucking assignment when really this girl should have done it. And why am I doing it? And I was working and working, and I started thinking and grinding on the issue because I was so good at both languages that the actual translation was kind of automatic, and so my mind was wandering and grinding on this issue. I am doing this for her. Why should I be doing this for her for free? And so finally, when she called me up, I remember, and she said, well, is it all done? And I'm like, yeah, you come over and pick it up, I told her. Yeah, I'm happy to give it to you. And she came over, and I said to her, well, I did it for you, and it took me, 4 hours. And I usually charge, my agency where I work for charges, X number of pesos per hour. So I did it for 4 hours, so it's going to cost you, X times 4, whatever it was, it must have been at the time maybe $50 or something like that, let's just say, right? I said, it's going to cost you $50. And she just looked at me like, what are you talking about, She thought that just by being cute, right, and she was going to get her way. And I remember so clearly at that moment, I said, fuck this cunt. She's not going to just be all nice and just bat her eyelashes at me and get me to do something that properly she should have done because it's her assignment for her stupid ass degree or certificate or whatever it was she was getting, right? She should have done it. And she roped me into doing it. So I should get something. I should get paid. And I said, I'm not going to give it to you unless you pay me because this was work and I did the work. So pay me. She called me all kinds of names. I was kind of shocked, to tell you the truth. She called me all kinds of really ugly names. I mean, she seemed like a nice girl, but holy cow, the mouth on that nice girl, Jesus. I mean, I wonder if she kissed her mother with that mouth or sucked a lot of cock with that mouth, for crying out loud. That fucking cunt. Yeah, I feel bitter about it because she roped me in and I felt like a fool. And I still remember this 30 years later, but I remember so clearly that I made up my mind. I'm going to get something out of this. I'm not going to just lie down. I'm not going to be a nice guy. I'm going to be an asshole. And I'm going to look out for my own best interests. That's what being a bastard is all about. But it's so easy to lose sight of this. It's so easy to forgo your best interests in the sake of getting along with other people. It is so easy to just lie down, bend over, take it. It's so easy because we as men, we want to help other people, okay? It's hardwired into us in a way that it's not hardwired into women. We men, we want to help other people. Have you noticed, you're driving along and some guy, right? He's like in the rain, he's, trying to change a tire. What the hell do you think you do? You stop. You stop for this complete stranger. Get out of your nice, dry interior of your car, go out into the rain and help him. Yeah, and what do? You finish helping him and you guys shake hands, and say, buddy, I'll see you around, best of luck. And you go off your separate ways. You never see the guy ever again because that's the way we are. We see somebody who needs help and we want to help him. It's just a natural instinct. It's a natural instinct that a lot of people take advantage of. A lot of people take advantage of that natural instinct and twist it around. And they turn you into a passive chump. Don't be that way. Don't be the passive chump. Yeah. You feel that you're being taken advantage of? Stick up for yourself. Yeah. And of course, it's going to be unpleasant. Yeah. That girl that I did that assignment for, you have no idea. It was embarrassing at the time. Thank goodness it was just the two of us alone. And it shames me a bit to admit it now, 30 years later, but I was kind of quaking. My voice was trembling when I was bringing this. And she was ferocious. She was pissed. She said, I need this assignment. I have to deliver it tomorrow or whenever the hell she was supposed to deliver it, right? And she was just going at me. Yeah. And I remember, and it shames me. At the same time, I'm kind of proud of it. Yeah. But my voice was kind of quaking. I was nervous. I was really nervous. Of course, it's hard to stick up for yourself. Of course, it's hard to draw the line and say, no, my interests, my well-being are more important to me than your interests, your well-being. And if that means that I have to sacrifice this relationship and you call me all kinds of nasty names and us never be friends again, fine. It's hard to do that. I recognize that. But you have to learn it. You have to start doing it. Don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. It's so easy. It is easy. The passive road, the wrong road in life, is always easy. It's easy to be a chump. It's easy to be taken advantage of. It's easy to roll over, bend over, take it. It's so easy. Passivity is always easier than activity, than being proactive, than sticking up for yourself. I know it because I've experienced it. We all have. We've all experienced the ease with which, it's so much easier to be passive and not pick up arms and stick up for yourself. But you have to. And you have to start with the small things. And you have to face that fire. That girl, I remember her very clearly 30 years later, right? I remember her, I can see her, I can picture the anger in her eyes. And I knew that I was doing the right thing, even as she was calling me all kinds of nasty names. I can remember, still today, I feel that warmth, that glow. Because she was taking advantage of me and I stuck up for myself when it mattered. And to tell you the honest truth, this trivial incident 30 years ago, I often think to myself, had I taken the wrong road, had I been just like, oh yeah, here, take it. And she would have been like, thanks, bye. And I wouldn't have gotten laid or anything like that. She had no intention of that. She just wanted to use me, right? If I'd given her the assignment without sticking up for myself, how my life would have been different. Yeah, it would have been radically different probably. Perhaps not, right? Perhaps there would have been some other incident that would have made me stick up for myself. It doesn't really matter at this point, but I feel today as if that tiny little incident really marked a before and after in my life. Yeah. Stick up for yourself. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how afraid it makes you feel, stick up for yourself, because the shame that you will feel later, that burning misery in your soul, in that core of who you are. I'm not talking about the God soul or religious soul. No, that inner core that you have, that the you of you. And it'll just burn it. It'll burn it like acid on your soul. Don't be dumb. Be smart. Be tough. And recognize that all good things are hard. And that's why you have to be a bastard.